All right, sorry about that. We were having a conversation without a conversation. It's now about 6:33 p.m. I'd like to call to order the Fenton Township Board meeting on this 20th day of September, 2022. I would ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the opening prayer. Trustee Goffel, will you lead us?
Certainly, sir. Lord, we are meeting here tonight to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. We ask you impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. And as always, we thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As always, Mark, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Clerk Krug is out tonight, so Tom, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Lorraine.
Present.
Krug is absent. Tucker.
Present.
Goepel.
Here.
Patrick.
Present.
Kessler is absent. Reed.
Here.
We have 5 board members present.
All right, we have a quorum. I'd like to note for the record that our Township Attorney, Jack Belzer, Operations Manager, Tom Broker, our Assessor, Julia Wilson, and our Zoning Administrator, Mike Deem, are also present. Additionally, joining us via Zoom is our Township Engineers, Alan and Melissa Lawrence. Good evening, Melissa.
Hello.
Hello. All right, Tom, will you detail the procedures for those attending tonight's virtual meeting?
Yes, to the members of the public attending tonight's meeting in person or via Zoom, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded to be shown on Public Access TV, Spectrum Channel 191. Recorded meetings are also posted on the Fenton Area Community Television YouTube channel. For those attending via Zoom, we ask that you keep your microphone muted until we reach portions of the meeting where public comment is allowed. For tonight's meeting, there is a public hearing on the 2022 Fire Protection Special Assessment Roll, during which public comment will be accepted. All other public comment will be taken near the end of the meeting. Meeting materials are available for download on the Township's website, www.fentontownship.org.
All right, thanks, Tom. All right, moving on to the first business in order is the approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? Hearing none, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved. Support.
All right, motion's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Tom, will you call the roll?
Lorraine.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Krug is absent. Kessler is absent. Goepel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Agenda is approved.
All right, thanks, Tom. All right, moving on to the next business order is the meeting minutes. Included in the packet are the meeting minutes from the September 6th regular meeting and the September 13th special meeting. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to these meeting minutes? Hearing none, the meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Moving on to the next business in order is expenditures. Are there any questions from the board regarding any of the invoices?
The question I had, Tom, and you may or may not know, it was for weed treatments for the different lakes on Panema Tupper. It looked like there were 2 large invoices for Panema, and I didn't understand why there would be 2 for Panema.
One was a delayed, one was from July and one was from early September. Apparently they just were delayed getting the bill to us.
Okay.
So, because I saw that too, because they came in the same day in the email, and I looked at the treatment dates. One was in July and one was 9/1, I think.
So you did know the answer. I wasn't giving you enough credit.
He studies it. All right, any other questions for Tom? All right, a motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $142,615.22 for payment.
So moved. Support.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Tom, will you again call the roll?
Krug is absent. Patrick.
Yes.
Kessler is absent. Reed.
Yes.
Goepel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion carries. Expenditures approved.
All right. Next business order is public hearings. Tonight we have the Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment District 2022 Special Assessment Roll. This is a public hearing on the 2022 Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment. You probably have noticed that the assessment per property remains at $65. Operations Manager Broker, will you expand on that?
Yes. The Special Assessment District was created in 1997 at $65 a parcel, and we've been able to maintain it at that. It's to fund the fire department, the fire fund budget, which includes personnel costs, building costs, equipment costs, new trucks, which we'll be talking about soon, it sounds like. And it's actually worked quite well over the years, keeping it right at that level.
All right, thanks, Tom. We'll now open up the meeting for public comment on the proposed 2022 Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment Role. Is there anybody that is attending tonight that's in the audience that would like to speak? All right.
Got a couple on Zoom.
All right, I will now move to Zoom. Is there anyone attending by Zoom that would like to comment on the proposed 2022 Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment Role? If there is someone that has joined us, you need to take yourself off mute. All right, hearing none, so there's nobody in the audience or joining us via Zoom. All right, hearing none, I will now close the public hearing. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
No. Okay, resolution number 2022-41. Tom, will you please present the resolution?
Yes, resolution 2022-41, it confirms special assessment roll number 2022-03 is the 2022 Fenton Township Fire Protection Special Assessment Roll. Establishes the due and payable date of December 1st, 2022. Assesses a 1% per month penalty on late installments. Directs the clerk to deliver the special assessment roll with warrant attached to the treasurer. Directs the treasurer to collect the special assessments and repeals any conflicting resolutions.
I will move the motion.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Tom, the roll.
Reed.
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Kessler is absent. Lorraine.
Yes.
Krug is absent. Cotter.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution is adopted.
Next business in order is reports. Are there any committee reports to be made to the board this evening? Any committee reports? All right, hearing none, the next business in order is communications. We have none this evening. Adoption of ordinances, none. Unfinished business, none. All right, moving on to the next business in order, which is new business. Proposed 2023-2024 Law Enforcement Services Agreement, Genesee County. I'm sure we've all received the reviewed the memo in our packets. I know that the Public Safety Committee has reviewed the contract. Trustee Gopel is our Public Safety Committee Chair. And you have something that you would like to add? Or-
No, as John would say, same thing. It's, even with the 3.13% increase, the value of a contracted entity that's already existing and we already pay for anyway is such a no-brainer to everybody on this board. So I'm very happy with what we have. I like that we have a representative at every meeting that we can bring up any questions or concerns to. And Sheriff, as always, is here the minute we request him, so
Anything else?
that's all I have.
Ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
No decisions were made in our public safety meeting. We reviewed this for the record.
The Jack Claus.
Jack Claus.
Well, I was taking over as supervisor 2 years ago, and being involved in the first contract and also in the second contract. I can tell you that the communication with the Sheriff's Department and what they do for this township is immeasurable. I can't say enough, especially since I started. I think the sheriff has given 2 reports. The sheriff now gives us a quarterly report himself. Also, I receive a monthly update from the township detective. The communication, what they do for the township, like I said. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Any other questions or comments? All right. Okay, I need a motion to approve the 2023-24 Law Enforcement Services Agreement with Genesee County as presented.
I will move the motion.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further questions? Tom, will you call the roll?
Cotter.
Yes.
Kessler is absent. Krug is absent. Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Motion carries. Contract is approved.
All right, thanks, Tom. Next under new business is the approval of the 2022 Fenton Township operating millage rate. I'm sure we've all reviewed the memo in our packets. Tom, can you elaborate?
Yeah, will point out that the memo has changed since the original packet. I reached out to the county equalization director to have her review my calculations, and she got back to me today, and I had assumed that the 5 mil calculation started with proposal A. Actually, there was a millage reduction calculation prior to proposal A, it was just different. So with the revised calculation, our maximum allowable millage for this year is actually 3.1207, not 4 point whatever we had before. But as discussed at the board meeting, the board wants to keep the rate the same as last year, which is 0.6576. So there's the form and the memo have been revised to reflect that change to the maximum allowable.
Yeah, but we didn't decide that then, Tom. No decisions.
No decisions, no.
were made.
No, there were no decisions. There were discussions.
There were discussions. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Questions or comments? All right, I need a motion to approve a millage rate of 0.6576 for the Fenton Township operating millage for the December 2022 property tax roll as presented.
So moved.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Tom, will you call the roll?
Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Kotrick.
Yes.
Krug is absent. Reed.
Yes.
Kessler's absent. Motion carries.
All right. Next under new business is proposed design and construction agreement, water system improvement phase 2. I'm sure we've all reviewed the letters and documents from WWS. I'm going to take about a minute, and I'm just going to go over some bullet points to explain phase 2. Because really this isn't phase 2, it's really bringing water to the township. Has always been one project, but it was broken up into 2 phases. The route, is it up there where you can see it?
There it is.
There it is. Just going to go over the route. It's taking it from Torrey Road. As you know, phase 1 ends at Thompson and Torrey. This takes Torrey Road from Thompson Road to Laring Road, Laring from Torrey to Jennings Road, Jennings from Laring, Laring to Thompson Road, connecting back to phase 1. Again, as I said, it's a single project. Phase 1 made the water available. So what phase 1 did was brought the water from Mundy Township, connecting into Mundy Township, or connecting into the county water system, municipal water system. Bringing it down to phase 2, then made the water usable. So really phase 1 is more of a commercial, very few residential. Phase 2 is going to be more residential.
When it hits the schools too, right?
Well, I'm going to be going over those.
Okay.
Yep. Provides a necessary loop to the system. Provides safe drinking water to all 4 linked Fenton school district campuses. Right now, all 4 campuses are using arsenic mitigation, and it will eliminate their need for that, and all 4, at least as from preliminary conversations, will be tapping into our municipal water. So again, I think that's a big point, safe drinking water for our kids. Provides water to 2 existing subdivisions on community wells that are right now using arsenic mitigation. They will provide water to planned developments along Laring Road. Can provide water to existing neighborhoods with well issues. Since the Tri-County Times has put out a few articles, so I think MLive has also. I have been contacted from people on Margaret Drive, several other streets that are looking forward to the municipal, or connecting to the municipal water, and Tom and I have already started talking about, and our zoning administrator Mike, how we're going to communicate with them and set up future special assessment districts for enabling them to connect to the water. I do want to point out that the township is not requiring residential homes to connect to the system. So right now, if you're on a well, the water comes in front of your house, you do not have to connect. Right now, the infrastructure committee has met several times. We're looking at initial pricing. We should have that soon. But it looks like that if someone's well does fail, that the cost of connecting would be about the same as replacing your existing well. So another thing about phase 2, when we started the project, working with the county applied for financing through the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. Not only were we accepted for phase 2, but we will be receiving 25% forgiveness on phase 2. That means that the total amount of the project will be funded by the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, and 25% of that total will be forgiven. We've also learned from conversations, or I have learned through conversations, that Linden is considering connecting to our system. They currently have a system, but they're interested in connecting to ours for several reasons. If Linden decides to connect to our system, that will reduce our cost, not only in phase 2 by almost $1 million, but they will also be paying partial of phase 1. So without Linden, just as it is, phase 2 costs $4.75 million less the 25% forgiveness, or $3.56 million. If Linden decides to join, our cost is about $4 million less the 25% forgiveness, which is down to $3 million, but Linden would also pay part of our phase 1. So those are just bullet points. I wanted to be quick and fast, so I'll move on to the board. Is there any questions or comments from the board?
We just got a 25% off coupon from the state. I'm a bargain shopper. That allows me to take safe water to kids who have arsenic-laced water that we're now treating. So, given the fact that we got a loop anyway, I don't think there's a lot to think about here.
A couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
Vince, could you go over if Linden joins, what it costs, and if they don't join, what it costs again?
All right.
It's the last 2 bullet points you had. Yeah.
Right. If Linden does not
Yeah.
join, and we expect they will,
Mhm.
it would cost $4.75 million less the 25%, so about $3.5 million. Actually, $3.56 million. If Linden joins, we will save approximately $1 million, taking the $4.75 million down to just under $4 million, less the 25% forgiveness, or $3 million, or just a little under $3 million for the total project. That does not include, we would also be receiving a reduction in phase 1.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's it.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, just, I mean, I know the connection fees aren't all necessarily, we don't know exactly what the details of that, but how much of this do we expect to, you know, I think you were just talking earlier about how we have a lot of interest from several people already. Do we have any idea how much of this is eventually going to be covered by the connection fees?
Well, there's a couple things I could touch on. Is, again, there's still a lot of money that's out there, as you know. ARPA money is still out there, but also the infrastructure bill that was passed and signed by the president, that money has not even been tapped yet. So I will be coming to the board in the future and talk about opportunities that we have to get more money. I feel very confident that myself and through these other forms that we'll be able to get more money.
Okay.
A lot more money. But if no other money was
If none of that panned out.
right,
yeah.
we haven't got all the infrastructure committee has met. We don't know the exact numbers yet. We're getting close because we're looking at what other municipalities do, things like that. But let's just say that we have around 600 or 700 homes that we know that are going to connect in phase 2. Let's just say that for purposes of funding the bonds, that we charge $2,000 extra. So you just do the math. We raise 1.4 million. That would be in phase 2.
Right.
So if the total project were to be at $3 million, we would have that paid with what we already know that's going to connect. If nobody else connected, that doesn't include schools, anything else. So again, I can't give you solid numbers right now, but I will certainly, we'll be able to do that as time goes on.
Thanks.
But I think that, like I said, the people that have called me, I've not had one person, not one, that has called me that said, I can't believe you're bringing water.
Do we know roughly what it would cost for the schools to hook in?
It's based, the connection fees are actually based on the meter size, and that, we don't know what that is yet. So, that'll be a discussion we have with them as soon as we have those calculations.
Yeah. again, the project's about 2 years away, so we want to make sure that the numbers are done correctly. Any other questions, comments, or anything else? All right, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the Fenton Township Phase 2 Water System Agreement with Genesee County as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Any other further discussion? Tom, will you call the roll?
Kessler is absent, Krug is absent. Reed?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Patrick?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Stoffel?
No, make me laugh, that's the way you did it.
Crew taught him, I think, how to do that.
Yeah, he sure did.
It's the sheet for
Okay.
He's swearing an oath down here, it's the sheet.
Oh. Yeah.
A sheet made me do it.
I want to thank the board for the support for the water.
You're
I think our
welcome.
communities. All right, I'll move on. The next business order is board comment. Is there anyone on the board who has additional comments or concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next business order, which is public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. We will now open up the meeting for public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. Is there anyone that's attending tonight that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items?
Charlie, you just here to look good?
Well,
I saw that power sitting in the back. I didn't know what that was all about.
it was about history, I guess. This will be the first time in 57 years you've had a water system. Yeah, I want to congratulate you guys for passing that tonight. Now, we started this in the last century, believe it or not. We started the work on the Thompson Road corridor in the 90s. And then the water came along mainly because of the arsenic. One thing you didn't mention is the reduced fire costs for people's insurance. Where you've got hydrants, you get reduced rates. I'm not sure what those are. Seems to me in the 10 to 15% range often for your insurance. So that'll be savings to all the residents where we have hydrants. So all in all, you know, it's just a really good deal. The original concept was we were getting worried about Thompson Road, which is the entrance, the main entrance to Fenton Township, which is a pretty upscale community. And it was starting to look like Dort Highway. And that was where the original push to really control the development along. And then, of course, the water was a natural addition because it's a business area. So there again, I want to thank everybody for doing it. Been involved in it for a long time, so it's a relief to see it getting done.
Well, at Thanksgiving dinner, you can pat number one's son on the back too, because he had some involvement in all this, and he's helping us not only with this, but with the bridge. And he's a friend of the township.
Yes, he is.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Charlie. All right, is there anyone else in attendance that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items? Hearing none, we'll move on to Zoom. Is there anyone attending via Zoom that would like to address the board tonight on agenda or non-agenda items? If so, you can unmute yourself, please.
Don says no, so the only one is Sharon. Sharon, if you want to say something, you have to unmute.
Sharon's my better half, so I
Oh.
just had her join tonight for, I don't know why.
Fill up the screen.
Fill up the screen.
Do you have the ability to mute her?
I already did. I already did.
Only here.
That's too funny.
All right, if there's no one else that wants to address the board that is here in attendance or addressing us via Zoom, it is now 6:56 p.m. If there's nothing else, I say good night and the meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
All done.